author of Natural Solutions for Cleaning and Wellness and founder of Whole Lifestyle Nutrition. And today, welcome to day 7 of the 100 Days of Natural Living Challenge. So today I'd like to talk to you a little bit about why, I feel it's so important to grow your own food. Growing your own food is part of a natural lifestyle. Oh my gosh, the sun's coming right into my eyes, but there's a reason why. Let's see if I can get away from that for just a minute. There's a reason why I'm here, because I want to make sure to show you what I'm about to teach you. And so I guess I want to talk to you about my backstory. The first and foremost, I wanted to let you know, it always goes back to my roots. And my roots, I grew up, if you watch my past videos in this 100 day of natural living, you will see that I lived with, the first 5 years, my family moved to Holmes County, which is a large Amish community. We lived with an Amish family for 5 years, and we learned a ton from them. So the Amish, they grow their own food, and even at their homes, not necessarily on a farm, but at their homes, they grow, they do row gardening, where you have rows and rows of crops, whether it be lettuce, whether it be, corn, whatever they were growing, they did it in a large space, because a lot of Amish, they have large families, and anywhere, from, 18 kids is not unusual. Large families. So they have to have this big space, to grow their food. So, I had a desire as well. The food as we once knew it, it's no longer what it used to be. When you have the GMOs out there, you have, and I really wanted to genetically modified organisms, if you don't know what that means. But I really wanted to, protect my family with the best food that I could possibly give them. However, I didn't know if I could do it. I was like, can I really grow my own food? I didn't know anything about it. So, I lived in, so I went ahead and said, okay, at the time I lived in Savannah, Georgia. I had, obviously grown up and moved on out of Holmes County, and I had a family, and my husband, I have my dog here, she might bark. She might want to go out, so if she does, I'll let her out. But anyways, I decided I was going to grow my own food, okay? So I went ahead and I went in the back, I had a huge backyard, and I grew this huge row garden, okay? And I planted a whole pack of lettuce, but excuse me. Here you go. I'm going to let her out really quick. Go ahead, honey. I have to watch. We have gators here in that pond there, so I really got to keep an eye on her here. So anyways, so what we have is, let me get back to the story. So I planted these seeds. I think I planted, 2 packs. There's like 1,000 lettuce seeds, right? I was so excited. My lettuce grew. It was beautiful. It was like one of the easiest things ever to grow. And I was like, okay. And I went to go harvest it, and I looked. And it was like, I am not kidding you, there had to be 50 heads of lettuce. And I was like, what in heaven's name am I going to do with all this lettuce, right? Who could possibly eat 50 heads of lettuce? And they'll be good for about 2-3 weeks? I was just like, okay, this is like overkill, right? So anyways, I was like, okay, I don't know, I did something wrong. I don't know what to do. So, then I started to think, what if I grew in a smaller space? Could I possibly grow food in a smaller space and only grow what we need? So, at the time we were going through a move, and we moved from Savannah, Georgia to Wisconsin. Okay, so when we got to Wisconsin, we had a different climate, a much better growing climate. So when we got there, I said, all right, I asked my husband, I said, listen, I'm going to try something here. I'd love to start growing my own food, but I just want you to build me a box. I want a 4-foot by 4-foot box. And he says, okay, I can do that. So our plan was to build this square foot, this 4x4 box. Think of it like this, you guys. You see this? This is 4 feet by 1, okay? And so it was 4 of those, but just 4 by 4, okay? So we went ahead and we built it, and I put some organic soil in it and for raised beds, and I was ready to go. And I looked down at it and I said, well, now what? You know, I've got this tiny little space. How am I going to grow food for my entire family, you know, in this tiny little space? And so my husband suggested, hey, Hallie, why don't you focus on 1 square foot, okay? Focus on a square foot and grow there and this square foot. So he went ahead and built a grid. And on my website, you guys, WholeLifestyleNutrition.com, and I'll put a link below this video as well. I have a tutorial on how to build your own. And so anyway, so he built the grid, and so I had 16 little squares. Okay, so now I could see, okay, I can plant 16 different things, right? Okay, this was starting to make sense to me. So like for instance, here's 1 square, here's 2 squares, 3 squares, and 4 squares right here. And if you look here, this is a lavender plant. It's going to get huge, so I knew I would need 2 of those squares. So I put it in the middle of the 2 squares, okay? So you don't necessarily need to use the 1 square, but you guys, most crops can be grown in 1 square foot, and you would be shocked how much food you can get out of this. So I went ahead and planted. I planted a tomato plant, 1 tomato plant per square, right? I did a Roma tomato. You guys, I got 30 pounds of tomatoes from one plant. 30 pounds. I mean, I could make sauce. I was dicing up tomatoes. I was freezing them. I was making salsa. You name it. Who gets 30 pounds of Roma tomatoes? If you ever want to grow a good tomato, that is a great one. So, you know, I was just like, I'd harvest, and then they would come back, and they would do it again, and it was just amazing. I would do lettuce, you know. I would do 4 heads, let's say a romaine lettuce, 4, you know. But here is the other thing, the issue that I have, is that I didn't want everything. Remember, when I was back in Savannah, everything harvest at the same time. So I wanted to focus on some way that I could stagger my harvest, right? So what I did is I would plant, you know, 1 seed or little patch of right there of romaine lettuce. And then 2 weeks later, I would put another one right next in the same square. And then 2 weeks later, I would plant the 3rd little section, because you can get 4 romaine lettuce per square foot. Okay, and then I would take another one and put it here, and I would stagger them. So every 2 weeks, I would eat my lettuce, and then when I was done with that lettuce, and you know, which would take me about 2 weeks to go through that, you know, 2 heads of lettuce, or 1 head of, yeah, about 1 head of lettuce, takes me about 2 weeks, and then I had another one that would be ready, because remember, we staggered them. So I was able to eat lettuce throughout my entire harvest, you know, the whole season, rather than having it all at once. Does that make sense? So, you know, and so I started to do that, you know, and just like little things, sugar snap peas. You guys, in 1 square, I was able to get, okay, 9 peas, 1 pea, so 1 square. I was able to get 4 rows of 9. So 36 plants, and I grew them up, you know, vertically. 36 plants, okay, in 1 square foot. I mean, talk about how many sugar snap peas do you think you're going to get? I was able to feed my entire family for the entire year, because, you know, we can, and we freeze, and you know, we find ways to preserve the harvest in a 4 by 4 foot, you know, feeding my entire family in a 4 by 4 foot space. I mean, right? Who could do that? Feed a whole family of 5. Now, granted, my girls were a little bit younger, so, you know, as they grew up and they started to eat a little bit more what I was growing, we went ahead and did another 4 by 4, and eventually we had a 4 by 12, which was crazy good. Again, I'll put a link to my gardening section, and I have all kinds of fun stuff on there for you in case this is something that sounds interesting to you. But you guys, like I said, it was such a transformation. I learned how to grow food for my family. You know, I learned how to garden, and the best thing is, it is the smallest space. I mean, you can see here, I have 2 of these, so I do square foot gardening still, you know, and garden by the square. So here I just have 4 square feet, you know, and over there you can see, I don't know if you can see, I've got spearmint, thyme, and then I think I have lemon balm or peppermint. I don't know. So, you know, my point is that, and then I have rosemary, and then I have lemon balm, and then I have basil. So you don't necessarily need a square foot. You can also consider your pots 1 square foot. You know, if they're round, that's about 1 square foot. You know, so if you don't want to go ahead and get these raised beds, you don't have to. You can do them in pots. You know, if you, I don't know if you can see, I have these great big pots, and they're round, but I can pretty much map out what a square foot would look like, and I just grow in big pots. So, I mean, there's just so many possibilities, and it's so cool to be able to, I mean, people get so overwhelmed. I don't know how to do it. I don't know what to do. And it's so incredibly easy. My biggest tip would be is to always have it close by, make it convenient, and always have a good water source, because you don't want to have, if water's not close by when you have to water your plants, sorry, just checking on the dog there. If water's not close by, then it's not convenient, you know, and it has to be convenient. So when you want to go harvest get some lettuce for dinner, you're going to go out and it's going to be right there. Go out on your patio, snip it, come back in, right? And then if you want to water it quickly, it just needs a little bit, then you go and you just get the water and just, you know, we had rain barrels in Wisconsin, so that's another great tip. Again, another lesson all on its own. So, all right, guys, so I hope this was useful, and I hope you're not intimidated to grow your own food, because it really, 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 really is super, super easy. And if I could do it, you know, not knowing a thing, and you can too. All right, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Until next time, which is tomorrow, day 8, we'll see you for the 100 days of natural living. Tomorrow, I'm not sure what the topic is, but we'll get there tomorrow. Okay, bye-bye. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode of 100 Days of Natural Living. If you want to check out yesterday's episode, be sure to check out our playlist right here. And if you'd like to subscribe to our channel, you can do that right here. As always, we have more great content over at WholeLifestyleNutrition.com. So come on over and pay us a visit there as well. Bye-bye.